Catherine in shock as William confesses his ending efforts towards her health. The unexpected revelation. It was a day like any other for Catherine, as she went about her daily routine, unaware of the bombshell that was about to be dropped on her. Little did she know that her world was about to be turned upside down by the news that would come from the one person she trusted the most, her husband, William. The morning started off as usual, with Catherine waking up, brewing a cup of her favorite coffee, and settling down to check her emails and social media. She was mentally preparing for the day ahead, focusing on the tasks she needed to accomplish when the doorbell rang. But before we continue, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you will never miss out any of our updates. Curious, Catherine opened the door to find William standing there, his usually warm and inviting demeanor replaced by a somber and serious expression. Catherine's heart raced as she ushered him inside, sensing that something was terribly wrong. "William, what's going on? You look so troubled," she said, her voice laced with concern. William took a deep breath and gently guided Catherine to the living room, gesturing for her to sit down. The tension in the air was palpable as he began to speak, his words cutting through the silence like a knife. "Catherine, I have something to tell you," he started, his voice trembling slightly. I've been neglecting your health and well-being, and I can no longer continue my efforts towards your recovery." Catherine stared at him, her eyes wide with shock and disbelief. She had been battling a chronic illness for years, and William had been her rock, her constant support, fighting alongside her every step of the way. The thought of him giving up on her now was unimaginable. What are you saying, William?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. William reached out and took her hands in his eyes filled with a mix of sorrow and regret. "I'm so sorry, Catherine. I've tried. I really have, but the toll it's taking on me, I just can't do it anymore. I need to focus on my own well-being and happiness," he explained, his words cutting Catherine to the core. Catherine sat there, speechless, her mind racing with 1,000 thoughts and emotions. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. After all this time, after all the battles they had fought together, William was simply giving up on her. As the reality of the situation sank in, Catherine felt a wave of anger and betrayal wash over her. She had always trusted William, always believed that he would be there for her, no matter what. But now, he was abandoning her, leaving her to fend for herself in the face of her debilitating illness. "How could you do this to me, William?" she cried, her voice trembling with emotion. "After everything we've been through, how can you just give up on me like this?" William hung his head, unable to meet her gaze. "I'm so sorry, Catherine. I know this is devastating, but I've reached the end of my rope. I need to take care of myself, too. I hope you can understand," he said, his voice laced with regret. Catherine felt her heart shatter into a million pieces. She had always known that her illness was a burden, but she had never imagined that William would abandon her in her time of need. She sat there, tears streaming down her face, her world crumbling around her. As the reality of the situation sank in, Catherine knew that she had to find a way to cope with this new reality. She couldn't rely on William anymore, and she would have to find the strength within herself to continue the fight. With a deep breath, Catherine wiped away her tears and looked up at William, her expression hardening. "Fine, William. If that's how you feel, then so be it. I'll figure this out on my own. But I want you to know that I'll never forgive you for this," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. William nodded, his own eyes filled with tears. "I understand, Catherine. I'm so sorry," he said, before turning and walking out the door, leaving Catherine alone to face the daunting challenge that lay ahead. As the door closed behind him, Catherine felt a sense of overwhelming grief and uncertainty wash over her. She had never imagined that her life would take such an unexpected and devastating turn. But as she sat there, she knew that she had to find the strength to keep going, to fight for her own health and well-being, even if it meant doing it without the support of the one person she had always counted on.